Hello, and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. This is our Tuesday map day where we get down to business, and boy, does Victoria have something super exciting to share with you. Victoria?
Okay, guys, you asked for homework, so I'm giving you homework. You may recall in last week's episode, we talked a little bit about creating story containers and using brackets as a way to signal to the reader that a piece of a story is beginning, the story container takes place, shares the information, and then that piece of the story is ending. So that's drafting with time brackets. Well, for those of you who have the big beast of my book, you missed out. I had to pull the section that went deeper into the idea of frames and brackets and boundaries, because otherwise it would have been 2,000 pages long, and I couldn't have afforded to ship it to you anyway. So, in my monthly newsletter, which I've just finished writing, issue number 3, we're talking all about frames, boundaries, and brackets. And if Haley lets me, I'm going to add embedding, but we'll see about that. So here's what I want you to do for your Zettelkasten week. Since you're already thinking about how to frame your stories and what kind of container you want to use, is it a container of time? Maybe it takes place within a lunch hour. Is it a container of space? Maybe this piece takes place on the front porch during a conversation. And when the characters leave the front porch, you know the conversation's over and that story container is closed. Whatever you're thinking about, here's my challenge to you for your Zettelkasten week. I want you to think of some boundaries. Now, I write all about this in my newsletter, but for you guys, because you're my digital besties, I want you to go the extra step of doing some pre-writing. Especially if you subscribe to my newsletter, before you get it, this is going to set you up to do some cool stuff. So when I talk about boundaries, what I mean are the actual things that signal to the reader that there is a time out of time in the story. Now let me give you an example. Let's say you have a main character who's cruising along through the story and things are happening and things are going on, and you need to share a piece of information. And you don't want to have to go back and do all of these rewrites and all of this stuff. You just don't know how to get that information in. Well, that's a perfect time to put in a boundary and signal to the reader, we're going to take a little detour. But if you do it in a measured, ordered way, you don't put the reader off and you don't lose them. So for example, your character's in the kitchen. They're doing dishes after dinner and they finish with the dishes and a mood comes over them. And perhaps you signal that mood coming over them by they open the window and a storm rolls in. So now you've got a mood change in the character, you've got a signal of a change in their setting or their scene, which is opening the window, and you've got the storm gathering outside. Because of those items combined, now you've got a place where your character could maybe have a little internal monologue and unpack and share the piece that you need the reader to know, because this mood that's come over them that's triggered by the atmosphere and the setting allows them to be introspective and to talk through this piece of information with themselves. Then, how do you signal that it's done? You close the window and they leave the kitchen. Super simple. It's a set of bookends that contain sharing that one bit of information. And you don't have to ever do anything with it again. That's the beauty of using frames and boundaries. You can simply slip in this little bit that the reader needs to know, and you don't ever have to worry about like story bracketing. If you open your story with a prologue, you have to end it with an epilogue because you have to finish those two pieces. But when you're using a boundary to create a particular story container, you never have to come back to it again. It's just something that you use for that moment in time in the story. So that's your challenge for this week. I want you to get out some note cards. Think of it as a side road off of the experience collection. Because what I want you to look for is I want you to look for simple things in your regular environment that can serve as boundaries for a frame, like opening a window, having the scene, closing the window. Or I'll give you another one. When I talked about leaving the house and going out to the porch, the two characters start to get into a heated conversation and they realize, oh, wait, the kids are in the next room. They step outside onto the porch. Then they can have that critical conversation. And when it's over, they come back inside the house. Again, you never have to mention the porch again. It's just there to serve as a container for that piece of information. So that's it, guys. That is your challenge for your Zettelkasten week, is I want you to get some note cards out and I want you to just notice some simple things that can create a story container for something that a character needs to reveal to the reader. I'll leave you there. Kathleen?
Oh my goodness, Victoria, how much fun is that? It's so practical and so doable. I really, really love that idea. And I'm going to do my pre-writing, I promise. I'm looking forward to that newsletter so much. Whoa. Well, mine is always so academic compared to Victoria's. Oh, well, that's just the nature. We're two different people. You get two sides. Well, we're talking about the character trait of loyalty all this month. Well, once you have your laminated list, and guess what? If you come on over to LiLLiPub to sign up for this, there's a PDF version. So you don't even have to wait for your laminated copy to come along. And because you may not get there, I'm going to turn it over and hold it up and look for the word loyalty. You can even take a screenshot. See loyalty there? 5252. It's on the list. So we're going to make a category card to launch everything that we're going to keep in our Zettelkasten on loyalty. It's really simple. It's just got 5252 in the corner and the word loyalty. This is just a marker card that starts off your section. Don't forget to index it. You got to put that in your index so that you'll know where does your loyalty section start. All right, then what are you going to do with your loyalty section? I want you to be able to be an independent Zettelkasten creator. I'm not going to feed you every little piece that goes in here. I'm going to give you one to start with, and then I'm going to speak some other ideas. But I want you to trust that whatever you do will work. So here's one to get you started. One more, this one. 5252/1, experiences with loyalty. Guess what you've just created? You've created a pool. Now, we've done experience collections in the past, and Victoria added an experience collection with a twist where you had to identify what character trait was happening in that experience. If you found loyalty in there, you could plop it in loyalty, or you could have had the kind of experience where we did it directly. We'll find an experience about loyalty. Or something occurs to you and you think, oh, the character trait of loyalty is involved there. Maybe it's something you see in a movie or a TV show, or could be something in real life. Jot down and just plop those in to your pool for loyalty experiences. So now, what other category cards might you need to set yourself off with ideas about loyalty? You'll probably notice that when we do fusion writing, we divide the character traits discussions into two parts. We spend 2 weeks on it. The first week, we spend discussing the definition of loyalty. So you could make a card, maybe /2. You get to choose your own numbers. Trust your own numbers. Make your own card that's about notes or info on what loyalty means. And this doesn't mean, oh, you got to regurgitate my definition of it. What does it mean when you think about loyalty? What occurs to you something when you made those experiences, it was like, oh, because loyalty really means this. And this is a point that you want to remember about what makes loyalty special. Drop it in there. Don't forget to index. You want to have this one would be indexed under experience and loyalty. Guess what? Pretty soon you're going to have experiences with all of the character traits. You're going to promote that to its own page. You know how to do that, don't you, with Victoria's? Because we've already seen how. When you take your I've got it tucked into my 60 for success from Victoria. Thank you. I have my section for my all my pages for my into every word. Well, very soon you're going to have a whole promoted word for experiences, and you're going to find, guess what? Experiences for loyalty, experiences for kindness, experiences for gratitude, experience. All of these things, you'll have a quick place to go find all of the experiences you've collected in all of these different areas. And then, of course, you're going to end up probably with a separate page just for loyalty of where everything is. So you can find it in a flash. because that's one of the real values of this kind of a system. Because you're indexing by the keyword, in this case, it goes really fast. So any word that would trigger that for you, put it in there. And if your loyalty was a story that grandma told you about a jewelry box, and which child got the jewelry box that was from great grandma? Which of her sisters, who or her sisters got the jewelry box? And the question came up of maybe there was a big loyalty issue. Maybe there was some rancor over who was going to get it. And they got together and realized, wait a minute, our loyalty to grandma, to great grandma, would not permit us to fight over this. And that's so then maybe you'd index that one by grandma. It's a great experience. So don't forget to put extra words in there that'll bring that experience back for you when you go grab your index later on to find what was that wonderful one. Any word that you think of that you might index it by, grab that and put it in there. These cards are going to serve you so well as you do your writing because Victoria gave you an example of how to solve a problem using this bracketing system that she created. Well, you can solve problems with character traits too. You could be stuck in a situation with, I don't know how I'm going to get my character from this spot to this spot in my story. Grab a character trait, pick one at random, throw the dice, or pick a number at random and go down the list. Oh, 6. That's respect. And go in your pool and pick an experience out of there. You will find that these little experiences will jog you just enough to give you the ability to move your story forward. These are very, very valuable collections and they're so fast and easy to make. That's what you're going to do for my experience. Anything to add, Victoria?
I could listen to you talk about this all day. I just love how simple and straightforward it is to just grab on to whatever the lesson is and then immediately know what you're going to do with it and understand how you can toggle those traits around. So I already have a million ideas just from loyalty and respect. I'm thinking, what if you have your character in some kind of little situation that triggers the character trait? Like, how meta is that? They step into the story container and the purpose of the story container is for them to discover or learn a particular trait. It's like a whole nother option of combining things together. So yeah, as always, the sum of the parts is way bigger than the parts. I'm just so grateful that we get to do this and that we get to inspire people and help them understand how to access their ideas, how to save those ideas and find them again, and then how to implement those ideas into the stories that they're just burning to tell. So bravo for episode 200. Congratulations and yay, all of us. And if people wanted to check us out or join us, where might they find us?
You would come to LiLLiPub.org. It's where we hang out when we're not here in YouTube land. And we just love helping you get your writing going if you haven't started yet. Keep your flow moving along if you're in the midst of it. Help you with your rewrites if you're at that stage. We're there for you all stages of your writing. We meet every Saturday. We meet in person. You can ask us questions. Come on over to LiLLiPub.org. This is the most incredible value for your money that you could ever imagine. Still only $8 a month now that we are just almost at our 2-year anniversary. We're days away from it, from our 2-year anniversary. And we'll see you back here next week for Writing Week. If we don't see you first, over in LiLLiPub. Bye.
Bye-bye.